What?
Owen's choking to death again.
Choking.
We need to talk about that, by the way.
What?
Did you know Owen almost choked to death the other night?
No.
We're recording right now. Let me tell you something, Mike. Owen almost died on Tuesday night.
Okay. I'm already invested.
And it was fucking terrifying. Like, I'm not over it yet.
You watched Owen almost die Tuesday night.
Yes. And it was traumatizing.
What was too good to not chew on?
Well, let me tell you something. Let's start from the beginning, because that's where you should. I had a very busy day Tuesday.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I'm getting over it. The new Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing Rogue One
Was in a streak.
virtual reality level
Sorry. Yeah.
came out for free if you own Star Wars Battlefront on the PlayStation 4.
Which you do.
Which I do. And so basically what is being said to my ears is there is a free game where you will fly an X-Wing fighter through space in virtual reality.
You spent the first 10 minutes. That's not going to help.
Yeah, dude.
It's helping a lot,
Eat
actually.
a dick,
The
Owen.
first 10 minutes looking around the menu screen and trying to figure out if you could fuck that R2 unit.
It is, because I was hornier than
Trying
I'd
to
ever
figure
been.
out how you could fuck the nose cone on the X-Wing.
Yes, because I was hornier than I'd ever been in my life.
So you're walking around like humping shit?
Well,
Were you
here's the
air
deal.
humping?
Here's the deal. Owen's having a day over there too. I can tell.
Boastful bonanza on the couch.
Here's the deal. He's at about a 90 right now.
He's at about a 9.9.
He's at about a 90 degree on that couch over there, baby boits, baby roboits. So I got home. It was very late. I went and had dinner with Bree and her father. And I got home lickety split
Bree was the lady that you talked about Gilmore Girls
on the podcast
for a
with.
long
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Listen, I know that you take issue with that. You don't want to hear about Gilmore Girls? You be available for every goddamn podcast from now on. Here's the thing. I start playing the game. I put on the VR. I start streaming because I want to stream the experience.
Your first.
My first time playing it. I'm in there, and I'm freaking out, and I'm having a great time, and I'm laughing. I'm telling some solid J's. And suddenly, when I'm about to take off and get the game started, I hear Owen choking. And Owen had he was sitting right here on the computer desk, and he had a box of pizza from Pizza Hut, and he was eating Pizza Hut.
Oh, what a way to go.
I know, right? That's all I could think of later, too. I was like, Pizza Hut. What if it was Pizza Hut that killed Owen?
I wouldn't like that.
I'd never eat there again.
No, why would?
I'd never.
No.
So anyway, Owen starts choking. And I'm thinking, well, you know, Owen, he's going to be fine, probably. And then it sounds awful. It's the worst choking sounds I've ever heard in real life.
You're still in VR by this point.
I was still in VR. And I remember yelling at Owen, hey, you're ruining my stream right now.
Last words to your best friend.
And then I hear him get up out of his chair real quick. And he starts like walking somewhere. And I'm like, oh, fuck. He's choking to death.
Yeah.
So I remove the fucking headset and I run over to him and he's in his room. For some reason, he went into his room.
Yeah.
I was trying not to interrupt the stream.
You were trying to be respectful during your death.
Yeah.
You already know in your head that you could hold your breath for 5
Yeah, but here's
6
the
minutes.
thing. But he also said that's the worst he's choked in his entire life.
Okay, so what happened physically?
Well, hang on. We'll get to Owen's part
I'm
next.
saying I've never actually choked that bad. That was a real choke. Like, it went down the pipe and it was stuck.
And you couldn't get it out.
We got.
But, like, you couldn't get it out so bad you went to your room.
You told me to.
I did not. I told you to go to your room?
I was trying to not interrupt.
Wow.
I never told you to not interrupt.
You're painting yourself as the villain on your own podcast right now.
Listen.
I think you're a piece of shit.
Listen.
right now.
You need to listen to the rest of the
You
story.
tell Rob Fee that this shit went down.
You need to hear the rest of the story. So I followed Owen into his room, and he's choking to death in his room, and he's making awful trying to breathe sounds.
Stream is jacked up.
Stream
by this
is
point.
just going, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just thinking, I've got to save this boy. I got to
You
save my
almost
best friend.
streamed Owen's death.
That's the thing. I couldn't stop saying it. I was like, this could have been on Reddit in
Yeah.
an hour.
You could have been on front page.
In an hour, this would be on the front page of Reddit.
Yeah.
YouTuber's best friend dies during live stream.
YouTuber
You
yells
tell,
at
you
friend.
tell me right now you wouldn't click on that. You want to know that story would be on SourceFed
I
the
want
next
to know
day.
who it is, and I'd probably be forced to cover that for sure.
You would definitely have to cover it.
It would be a white wall with no music.
It would be a white wall with no music, and then there'd be like a memorial for you, and there'd be weird footage of you because all the footage of you that exists at SourceFed is weird. And there's no real recent photo of you either, so it'd have to be one where you look happy for once.
Yeah, and it would be me and you.
Yes, it would. And I would be devastated. I'd
Yeah.
be crying the entire time.
And I'd keep making jokes and throwing it back to you.
I would have to
So you could
dig
think
through-
about what you
know
did.
what I would have to do? I'd have to go through my old hard drive, and I'd have to find photos of Owen and I, like early photos of Owen and I.
And then I'd be like, "Come on, dude, we gotta have this story written by 11."
And I'd be like, you shut your mouth and be more respectful to a boy lost his best friend at Pizza Hut. So anyway, I'm in his room, and he's choking to death. And I don't know what to do. But I can't do nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't just watch him die, basically. So I do what I've seen happen in the movies 100 million times.
Screaming.
And I start smacking him as hard as I can on his back.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe this will help dislodge.
By this point, you've never heard of the Heimlich maneuver by this
Well, the
point.
Heimlich was next. But first, I wanted to see if I could smack it.
You were just replaying the scene from What About Bob in your head and going through step by step.
You know what's funny though, Owen? I wasn't thinking about What About Bob or anything anything in particular. I was just thinking of I need to help you get the food out of your throat because you can't breathe very obviously.
But you looked at him and you were like, "We got enough time. I could try the back pat first."
This happened in because I went back and watched the stream.
it happened on camera.
I'm telling you, no, it wasn't. There was no camera. It was
But
just the
you
VR.
hear the whole thing.
Let me. I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Oh, I need all of it.
But there's it all happens, no shit, within a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew it was only that.
It was a minute.
Yeah.
It was a minute from Owen coughing and walking to his room to me going, smacking him on the back a bunch of times very hard,
Yeah.
and then attempting to do the Heimlich.
Yeah.
I got my arms around his chest and started just fucking heaving
Chest
up.
is too high for next
Well,
time.
I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah.
Owen and I learned a very valuable lesson,
That
which
the
is
chest is too high.
the chest
to
is
do
too
the
high.
Heimlich maneuver.
We both don't know how to do the Heimlich.
Can I teach you?
Yeah. Well, I'd rather take a certification class. Not to discredit you.
I've never taken one of
Listen,
those.
I'm not going to discredit you,
Yeah.
but I don't want to just be like, when someday someone's like, where'd you learn the Heimlich? I'm going to be like, oh, a homeless man taught me.
Well, that's not completely accurate now, is it?
So anyway, I started to attempt the Heimlich,
Sure.
and it didn't
Can't believe I'm being shit on by the guy who doesn't know the fucking Heimlich maneuver in 2016.
There's two
You're
boys.
85 years old.
There's two boys here that don't know how to do the Heimlich.
Well, I don't know how either of you is alive. First of all, I've been saying that for the past 3 years.
Well, listen, I'm 34. I've never had to even attempt to use the Heimlich maneuver.
That's good.
So, I mean, I'm lucky, but this was an eye-opener for sure.
Sure.
So
Everyone should know as a message to the listeners.
She has to do it every day.
I attempted. Yeah, are you kidding me? All she says is put your arms up.
Oh,
Put
God.
your arms up.
Here it goes again.
Anyway, so I'm attempting the Heimlich maneuver on Owen, and it doesn't seem to be working, and he's still choking.
'Cause it's too high.
So I'm like, I don't know how to do this, and my friend's gonna die. So I rush out of the apartment, and I bang on the neighbor's door.
Yeah.
And I say, help! Please, help!
Yeah.
And And then I'm hearing Owen continuing to choke, and then I rush back in, and then he's like finally, he's finally letting air out, and he's breathing, and he's still coughing, but he's breathing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. And then my neighbor opens the door and he's like, is everything okay? And I was like, I'm sorry, my friend was choking to death and I thought maybe you could help because I don't know the Heimlich. Everything's okay. And he's like, are you guys okay? And I was like, yeah, we're okay. He's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I close the door. I come back in. Owen coughs for another 25 seconds. And I go back to the stream because I'm like,
all right, guys, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, all I can think of is like everyone's witnessing this.
Yeah.
Everyone at least heard it.
And Rhino Balls and Julia Fang.
Yeah, Rhino Balls,
The whole
Backsorn,
crew.
Julia Fang, everybody, and strangers, and I'm back. I went back today and was looking at this, so I wanted to go back and watch the stream. And I gotta be honest with you, there was an inherent fear and uncomfortableness and just general anxiety for even attempting to rewatch it. Because it was like...
Because it's like a snuff film.
It was terrifying, Mike.
Yeah.
For me, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, is Owen okay? And what's going on? And so I go on to explain what happened, and some people were like, oh shit, we thought that was a bit. We thought you guys were doing a bit.
We were laughing the whole time.
Right? Like some people thought it was a funny bit we were doing. And then when I reiterated that it definitely wasn't a bit and my best friend I felt like was about to die, then people were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so we like went back to doing our shit and Owen was okay and it was good. It was fine. But
Two more pieces of pizza.
and he ate 2 more pieces of pizza.
You didn't throw up?
No.
He didn't throw up. And that was like the best thing in the world that could have happened.
Can I, regardless of whether or not you retain this information, because we all know that could happen now.
Listening.
I want to say something for all the listeners. If you're ever in that situation, you take a fist and you put it halfway between where the person's heart is, right in the center of the chest, and their belly button. So if you take your pinky, you put it in the belly button, and you take your thumb, you extend it up to the chest, where your fist is, that's where you do the Heimlich maneuver. And it's in and up. And you could
Like
crack
almost
the person's-
under the rib cage.
Yeah, you could crack the person's rib, and that does
But that's
happen.
even better than dying.
But it's